Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Council of the Multiverse. And that's right, you guessed it. It is time for the council to convene. We are talking episodes 1 and 2 of Marvel Studios' Secret Invasion streaming series. We're catching back up with Nick Fury. And to discuss this with me today on the council, first up, my roommate, Lucia Roman.
Roommate?
Yeah, we're roommates. We live together. What? Am I telling lies? Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Lucia, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Oh, I'm feeling great. You know, we're roommates. That's the best. And in another seat, here on the council.
I was introduced first.
We have a returning guest. Don't try to big time him here. He's a returning council member of the Multiverse. It's the Dreadlock Demolition Machine Bojack. How's it going?
Whoa, that's me. Well, I'm pretty good, man. I'm chilling. You know, I'm not in the room. I'm not a roommate. I'm in a different room.
I'm in a different room too.
Oh shit.
That's how we fix the problem. She's in our living room. Yeah, and she usually sleeps there too because we're just roommates. But Secret Invasion episodes 1 and 2 were a little bit late, but actually not too late on episode 2, which I'd go on a limb. And I put a gun to my own head and say that it's better than episode 1. What's up?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, it's definitely been like, you know, kind of a slow start, but like I think I had expected that for sure going into this show.
Yeah, let's just jump into it. Let's talk about our general thoughts because that's a great point. I want to just put it out there. It's gonna be obvious, but this show, there's a lot of talking in it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dialogue Central.
Yeah, what is it, like 50 minutes or whatever? It's just, all right, here's the next scene. All right, we're going to sit down. We're going to talk. It's like, okay.
It's like the first episode is like it felt like it was like, you know, like 45 minutes to an hour. The second episode felt like a little bit shorter, but like, yeah, it's just dialogue.
Lucy, how you feel about all this talking at you?
Now that you pointed out, I guess there's a lot. They have to give all the lore. That's why.
Not the lore.
Yeah, we gotta get all that lore. What's your favorite piece of lore, Bojack?
My favorite piece of lore is that his name is Nick, but only his mom calls him Nick.
Oh, that's my favorite piece of lore. I didn't pick up on that. That was pretty cool.
Except for Maria Hill that one time and for the last time.
Oh, okay? you got a keen ear on you.
Oh yeah, that was in the Captain Marvel movie, right? Or no?
No, it was at the end of Infinity War where they both turn to dust, and then as she's doing, she's like, Nick. And he's looking at shit, things are popping off. Nobody ever calls me Nick except for my mama.
Mm-hmm. She said Nick, and he's like, Mom? Yeah. Real confusing time.
Mommy? What a way to go out.
But nah, it's man. But like I feel like, you know, obviously it's a lot of dialogue, but there's a lot of like important stuff, you know, sort of being revealed because like obviously the Skrulls have been around for a little bit now, but we haven't known like too much about them. Obviously we got like the whole like info dump in Captain Marvel because that's like their movie, and like we've seen like different appearances of them in spots here and there, but like this is the first time in a while that we're getting like, you know, more lore and info dump on the Skrulls.
I like the tone. I like how it is dark throughout. Like even when it's funny, it's not the typical MCU funny. It's like the subdued version of it.
Yeah, I think it's a good like that's perfect example. I was trying to think of a different way to phrase it, but that's perfect. I think it's a good tone shift from normal MCU stuff, which like I could honestly see a lot of people not really liking. But if you're into just like the overall Marvel universe and you're into the characters and you're into like different forms of media and you're down for a little bit more serious stuff, then I think most people will enjoy it.
Lucia, what do you think of the tone?
I mean, compared to like the older shows, I feel like this one, I feel like more people will probably be down to watch it just because it's more like, I don't know what to call it, like sci-fi type thing instead of like a kids show that not really many people would watch.
That is a good point. It's different from,
Yeah,
say, Miss Marvel.
more of a like
Miss
mature
Marvel.
take on it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of fucking mature, episode 2, goddamn.
All right, yeah, let's just bust open the doors on this. Episode 1 is like, okay, Maria Hill dies, but that's like the only thing that really happens in that entire episode.
It's a lot of catch up because it's like, all right, it's like Nick Fury fucking as soon as everyone came back, he went up into space. All right, cool. He's been in space until like now. The Skrulls are Talos was the leader of the Skrulls, and then now they've all defected over to this guy named Gravik, who was like, you know, little Skrull youngling dude. And how did they say like how he like rose to power, or like is this sort of just a thing where it was like people were unhappy and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna step up while people are unhappy.
I think that's what it is. I don't think they've formally explained it yet.
But yeah, so our guy Gravik comes up, and now he's leading sort of like an extremist sort of sect of the Skrulls, but that are adopting human faces, and they literally call themselves soldiers because when they brought that one guy to the compound, it was like the soldiers stay in their human form all the time. Everyone else just gets to chill and do whatever. So like they have this little Skrull society going on.
I have a question regarding this.
Okay.
So, you know, when they're doing the whole, you know, tell me something I don't know. And they're talking about the Skrulls. And then Talos is like, hey, we got 1 million of these motherfuckers here now. And then Nick Fury's like, 1 million? I'm a little confused because aren't Talos' side of the Skrulls, or I guess the Skrulls in general, but like, weren't they refugees and weren't they separated? Because it was like said that the most of the 1 million came down while Nick Fury was gone. So within the past 5 years, these people have shown up. How do you like, okay, here's my thing. Because they were talking about it as if it was like a spur of the moment type thing in the past few years that it happened.
Are you saying like how did we just overall not notice that 1 million more people were on the planet?
That too kind of plays into it. But also if they're like refugees, how do you wrangle them all up across the universe within like that short amount of time? That's
well, he said he sent out like a call. And they like it was more so than like answering the call, I guess, than like them like coming. So I guess like I'd assume that they found their own ways there, and that it seems like they kind of just have a sense for like when they're interacting with other Skrulls. I don't know how that works, but because from some interactions in episode 1, like it seems like they can just tell when they're messing with other Skrulls.
Okay.
So maybe that's how they sort of like all got together. But are you more so talking about like the compound, like how did like Gravik like get the compound together?
No, I'm more so concerned with like Talos. Like it was just presented, or I got the vibe from it that bringing all of these Skrulls was like sort of like a last ditch effort. It was like a last resort type thing that he only went to because Nick Fury disappeared.
Okay.
But also it's like, that's a pretty fucking big, you're bringing 1 million people here. Like that, like, my thing is like he had to have like at least a little bit in the back of his mind before Nick Fury disappeared, thought about it. You know what I mean?
The gravitas of the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's I think it's like you said, it's like a last ditch effort, like sort of sorry. I think it was a last ditch effort kind of type beat where like he wasn't really thinking about it, but also like, you know, his first and foremost concern is doing right by his people, which has been, you know, their whole MO for the last like 20, 30 years, whatever it is. And fucking the dude that's supposed to be here helping him do that is just gone. Was straight up gone for 5 years, and then when he came back, he left again. So it's like 6, 7, 8 going on like 10-ish years or whatever the fuck, because the MCU timeline's all fucking hard to keep up with. Either way, 5+ years that this dude has been gone, comes back and is gone again. And like you're relying on him to help try to find a home for your people, and you're not really sure what to do. So it's like, fuck it, let's just bring him here.
Okay, I could see that. I just hope they explain more of that side down the line.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about the timeline of how everything came together.
They really do always have like a thing where like something that they'll drop in like at the end of the first episode or somewhere in the second episode, and then they like put more meat on it in one of the later episodes. So maybe this will be like that plot thread that they use.
Yeah, hopefully.
Fuck. Who was the name of that lady that Nick Fury meets? The British lady.
Sonya.
Okay. So yeah, so Sonya's peeps kidnapped Nick Fury.
Bro, let's talk about that for a second.
Then let's get into it.
What did you think about that whole sequence? Hold on. First, Lucia, what did you think? And then Bojack.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
From the beginning, like when he goes out into a dark alley and wants to get caught.
Yeah, what do you think about that whole thing? What's your interpretation? And then we're going to compare how we saw it.
I mean, he does it, I would hope, on purpose. Just goes out and knows he's going to get kidnapped so he can meet with her, right? Okay. Otherwise, he's stupid.
Bojack, what do you think?
I think he's definitely playing it off like he meant to get kidnapped. I'm going to assume
there's no fucking way he didn't.
I'm gonna assume for now that he meant to get kidnapped, though. Yeah.
I'll be the one to say the opposite. There's no fucking way. This dude lost it. How?
You think he just got? You think he just got?
Yeah, like, cause he just showed up that night. You know, like how you're in Russia. How do you how can he possibly know that she's going to have him taken to her?
Because he's Nick Fury, and like, you know, he knows her, and like, you know, so he's probably like knows like what she's about, and knows that he's in the wrong part of town.
So at the very least, her goons are just like running around at night, just like looking for black guys.
See, but I'm about to say that the fact that they just knew where he was, because that all happened so fast. So like, hey, we got him. Because that was when him and Talos like were talking, and then like they sort of blew up, and then that's when he's like, I'm gonna go for a walk. Well, maybe they had just had eyes on him like the entire time, because he had, like I say, because he had been there for a bit when like to meet up with Talos. So maybe like as soon as he fucking got into Russia, they like knew he was back.
Okay, that explains their side. But what about Nick Fury? This dude just impromptu decides to go on a walk because they had an argument. I think he's like, oh, you know what? This is a prime time. I'm going to go talk to her now.
Throw me in the truck, fam.
The logistics are just crazy to me.
The only reason I think that he like meant to get kidnapped is because he didn't fight back at all. Because even when Talos kidnaps him at the beginning of episode 1. When Talos kidnaps him, he at least like tries to fight back, and like I don't know if he just like realizes that it's Talos and then stops fighting back, or if Talos just overpowered him and legit just kidnapped his ass, or if or whatever. But he didn't fight back at all. Like they just show up and he just gets thrown in the truck. But also when he's there, he's like already has like the little owl gimmick there with the eye to like spy cam her officer or whatever. So like I don't know if he just like had that like on him and he was just fucking ready, or if he was prepared. But I mean I could see it being either way though.
I hope you're right. I hope.
Real quick, because we got to talk about our homeboy, our token white guy.
Oh my.
Everett Ross. That's how this whole thing kicked off.
Yeah.
So Ross meets with what is that doctor's name?
You know what? Let me just
Agent Prescott. Agent Prescott.
Agent Prescott.
So Ross meets in Moscow with Agent Prescott. And Prescott is giving Ross info about Skrulls and like these attacks that are happening. And he's like, this is an invasion and blah, 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 blah. And Ross is like, nah. He's like, nah, man, you're crazy. Then he shows him the evidence. He's gaslighting him. He's fucking gaslighting him. He's like, nah, man, you're crazy. He shows him the evidence. He's like, all right, cool. Well, I'm going to take this to Fury. And then fucking Prescott is like, all right, that's fine. JK, that's not fine. And starts trying to whoop his ass. And then he starts chasing him through the streets.
Yeah.
So he chases him through the streets. Ross thinks that he's fucking Superman and tries to fucking jump out this fucking window or like off the roof or whatever. And he ends up fucking taking the Harry Osborn from Spider-Man 3 bump.
Yeah.
And fucking nearly died.
Yeah.
So at this point, I already was like sus. I was like, there's no way that this dude just like would do this. Before that, he shoots Prescott. Prescott's dead, so it doesn't even matter who Prescott is because he's dead now. And he's like, shoot dead. He's not a Skrull. He's actually dead because he got shot and didn't like morph back. He's just actually dead. So then fucking Ross ends up dying, but it's not actually Ross. It's a Skrull.
Oh my.
So
no
do you guys think, I want you guys' thoughts. Do you guys think that they're implying that the Ross that we've been seeing has always been this Skrull, or do you think that this is like a recent development?
Lucia, you go first. Get it off your chest.
I'm not sure. I would think, I mean, right now I'm thinking it's just this incident, meeting with this doctor, and maybe they were just doing this side thing, but I don't know. As soon as he started saying, no, like he's all calm about it, I knew it was a Skrull. I'm like, there's no way.
No way. All right. I sort of have two answers, and they're both answers. What I think actually happened is what she just said. Just, shortly before the events took place, that's where the Skrull started impersonating Everett Ross. But my heart wants it to be every time we've seen him so far, it's been a Skrull. So he's just been this Skrull for at least the past 10 years or whatever. I hope that's what they're doing, because that's way more interesting. And that's what I've wanted from the show when it was announced. Like, yo, we're going to fucking hit you with some bombs. We've made fucking 40 movies or whatever at this point. We're going to start changing some shit up, changing the context, make you start thinking about what you've seen in the past.
Y'all think we don't got nothing left in the chamber?
Yeah, I got a lot left in the tank. That's what I hope.
I think I'm in the same boat as you. I think my brain says that this is a recent thing, especially because, Ross just got broken out of jail with the Wakandans, or they they stopped him from ever going to jail.
Mhm.
So I imagine he's probably gonna show up with the Wakandans again with whatever they're doing, or he might show up in the Thunderbolts with whatever. Actually, no, because he's running from her. I don't know, but I feel like he's just like out, just like being a convict somewhere. So I'd imagine that this sort of just happened when he around the time he like got arrested, or like, you know, sometime kind of recently is when someone adopted his face, so to speak.
Wait a second.
But no, I do think. Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off, but it just hit me like a fucking train. In the first Black Panther, when, you know, Shuri's like, oh my God, I gotta save this white boy. Did he ever flatline at any point during that time?
No,
because I think that's where our
they would
answer
have
would
they
lie.
would have probably noticed. He probably would have had purple blood because he got shot. So he was at least him in the first one, and I'd imagine he got cut up and bruised at some kind in the second one. But it was definitely him in the first one because that dude was like near death and was bleeding all over and didn't ever revert back, and his blood was red. So it was definitely him in the first one. So at least since the first Black Panther, that was actually him. So maybe like after that is when, if it was like dude fucking having Skrullified himself this whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah. So fucking Ross is dead, but not really Ross. Skrull Ross. Maria Hill gets Nick Fury, and that's when they go meet up with Talos. You know, some more fucking shenanigans happen. This is where we get into all the fucking dialogue. We learn about we have a scene where Gaia, Talos' daughter, brings another Skrull refugee to the Skrull camp. And, you know, we start learning about these Skrull extremists and the shit that they're doing. And they have a plan to bomb. What the fuck do they bomb? Is it just like at the end of the episode, what are they bombing?
We spent an hour listening to him talk. I don't think they actually explained what, like, the significance. And then, you know, episode 2, spoilers, by the way, when they're asking Gravik, where it's like, did you know Nick Fury was going to be there? And he's like, no, but I hope so. So I don't know what the plan was. I think it was just a general terrorist attack. I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I think the plan may have been because they were impersonating people. The plan was to impersonate the Americans. What is it? The Americans against Russia or whatever. Impersonate those people. Yeah, because do the attack I was gonna say start the war.
At the start of episode 2, when the dude's getting arrested, that's why he was like, I'm an American.
Yeah.
And it's like, first of all, we're fucking stupid, but like that's not like a real defense. And then that was the dude that we saw was a Skrull. So I think that was like, so that the Russians would think that, the Americans are responsible for this. This dude's screaming he's an American. So, which is some shit that we would actually do, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, so they fucking. So Gaia and Talos meet up, and Gaia tells Talos about the bombing that's going to happen. But it was a ruse just to confuse them all. They do a bunch of fucking weird like switcheroo shit during this sequence where they're trying to follow the bombs. Fucking some shit that I didn't even realize until I watched it back, and I watched like an Easter egg video. It was like a bunch of people that you see like in the first part of the episode were all fucking Skrulls, which is a crazy reveal, even though they are just like side characters. But I think it's a crazy reveal because it shows that like that they've had their eyes on this dude literally since he got back.
Whoa.
Because there's this random old man. There's this woman that he had passed like on a bus stop when he was on his walk before he got kidnapped. There's the old man that he bought the drink in the bar. There's a little girl that he saw at a different time. So like all these people that he has just so happened to seen like within the past day or two are all revealing themselves to be Skrulls. Um, and I was like, when they kept like dropping the reveals of who these fucking people were, I was like, yo, that's pretty crazy. And the fucking bombs go off and fucking chaos ensues. Maria Hill gets shot by
What?
a Skrull pretending to be Fury. Yeah, I know.
No way.
And that's how we end episode 1 with Maria Hill. She has been shot. She's dead. She thinks she might. I don't know if like they were implying that she thinks Fury did it, or if she was like telling him that they have a Skrull that is posing as him. But at the end, she's like, "It was you." Like when she's like dying. So, what did you guys think of like this closing scene of like? I feel like it gets like super chaotic, like super quick, but like in a good way.
Yeah. Lucia?
I
Or
have
I
a
could go first.
theory
Ooh.
about his plan, kind
Ooh.
of like, which I don't know if you guys have already talked about it, but I think like Gravik. Do you guys think he trusts Gaia, or he like knows that she's like betraying him, pretty much?
I think he trusts her, but he just doesn't think she has the heart, the drive, the determination to be as ruthless as she needs to be successful in this group.
I think he is cautiously trusting her. I think like deep in his heart he doesn't really trust her, and then like more like how you said, like doesn't think she got that dog in her.
Yeah.
But like, he's like, well, she hasn't actually done anything for me to now trust her. So I'm gonna go ahead and just trust her. But like she ain't about it though.
Yeah, that's my read on it.
Because in the car, when like he's telling her, or she's like, "How did you know Nick Fury was there?" Like he probably thought he would be there because of her, like her spilling the beans.
Oh, you think he's 4D chessing
like-
it?
Oh,
Yeah, and
shit.
like he probably just wanted to, because you have to see the person in real life to like morph into them, right? Or
I think they can also do it on pictures.
They have to get their eyes on him. Yeah.
because maybe he just wanted to get like a more recent look at Fury so that he could see him, and then there's scenes later on that I question if it's Fury or if it's a Skrull. So that's why I mentioned it. Like maybe that was the plan, just to see him, and then everything else just happened.
You
The
should be
bomb's just
writing
a
this show.
distraction.
Because if this theory is true, it literally kind of makes it like 5 times better.
That's fucking crazy. I wasn't even thinking about that. But
Yeah.
like like he fucking knew that she was lying the whole time.
Yeah,
Like, but he
that's
can't tell.
so interesting. Because the way they present it, which could, just be part of their plan. I'm just thinking, this is, the typical villain, he's young, he's rising to power. He's probably going to do some crazy shit. He's probably going to make a big mistake towards the finale. And then, that's how they defeat him. But like, he's very inexperienced, even though he's kind of dangerous. This theory, though, I'd be like, whoa, that's crazy. Like fucking episode 5 drops, and then he's like yelling at Gaia. He's like, what you fucking think this is? The reason I brought you in, the reason you're my fucking right-hand man is so that I could know everything your father is fucking doing.
You think I didn't know, dog? You think I didn't know?
You think I really couldn't get another Uber driver to drive me around?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's a great theory. Great theory. I love it. And I hope it's true.
So Maria Hill is dead. Fucking I think she's like, do you guys think she's actually dead?
Yes. Just because she didn't turn green, right? So it couldn't be a Skrull. Or Skrull. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Scroll.
Yeah.
You're saying it right. also two answers to this one. I just with because the ending was so chaotic and stuff, an argument could be made that the death could be the context of it could be seen as underwhelming. So for that reason, it could be that they bring her later and she's like, oh, I wasn't actually dead, or blah, blah, blah. Or like they introduce fucking, oh, life motto decoys, and that was mine. You know, Nick, you were up in space doing your own shit. I was down here doing my own shit too. Right?
Because Coulson died.
Yeah.
And then like got brought back in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. So they could easily do it. But again, what I'm hoping, I hope she's actually dead, because then the show immediately has stakes. It immediately has stakes.
So I think I'm gonna say that she's actually dead, because like Lucia said, she's not a Skrull because she didn't turn. She just actually died. And I think that I feel like that makes that lessens the scene with Fury and her mother in the second episode like way more if she's not actually dead. Because they usually are pretty good about staying away from like scenes like that unless it's like for real. Like when that one mom came up to Tony Stark in Civil War, and like just in general, like when they deal with like, you know, parents or like children of like someone that just died, it's always like super tense and like not fun, because like it's not. So and then they had the whole funeral for her. So I think she's like actually dead, which like you said would give the show immediate stakes, because they dropped the Ross fake out where it's like, well, people that you think have been there might not be who they are, and then people that have been around this entire time are not safe from just getting shot in the middle of the street. Yeah. So so now that was a crazy way to end episode 1. I thought, like I said, I thought it was really slow starting, but like, you know, it was not it wasn't like uninterested. I wasn't like not interested in it while I was watching it, but like there's definitely a lot of stuff to like take note of and try to like keep track of and remember, but I think that's like the point, because it's supposed to be like more like a espionage type vibe.
Call me Asana, because I got a hot take.
Oh shit.
We're only 2 episodes in, of course, but I think She-Hulk's pacing is better.
Oh my god.
Because this show right here
oh my
suffers
god.
the exact same thing that like almost every show except for WandaVision and She-Hulk did, where they're not shows. They're movies that have been spread thin. You know, they're like the butter. We got this amount of butter. Instead of spreading it on one slice of toast, we're going to do it on 2. I think you're sitting there like, you barely have enough for one. And then they're like, I don't give a fuck. We're going to make 2 slices. So this show is, like, the tone is great. You know, if the theory about Gravik is true, takes it to another notch. But just the pacing is still just, brother, this episode could have been 40 minutes. Could have shaved 10 minutes.
I might have to agree with you, even though that is a spicy hot take. I might have to agree with you.
Hey, I don't know why that's so spicy to you. I don't know what. Say She-Hulk is
It's not
better?
spicy.
What?
It's not spicy to me. It's not spicy to me, because I thought She-Hulk was fine. That's not a spicy take to me. I know to a lot of people that's a spicy ass take.
Yeah, but it's true. You can't argue with facts.
Cannot argue with facts. Oh man, you just like threw me off.
Yeah, I just stun locked you right there.
Because I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, yeah, man, this I feel like they get in this weird thing where they're so used to having to cut stuff down so that they can make it a movie length, that now that they have 6 times that length to work with, they sort of just go crazy. And it's like, yeah, if this were a movie, we'd have to squeeze all this lore and dialogue down into about like 10 minutes. But like now we have time to play around and just fluff it up. So let's make it a whole like hour-long episode.
Yeah, which sucks. But also, it's not anything new. So I just wanted to mention it because that just, it's just so much fluff. It's so much fluff that we do not need.
And I'd give it a pass if it was just this show, but that is like that has routinely been a thing with all these Marvel shows, especially in like the first 2 episodes. Just like I get it, because you want these shows to feel like their own world for a little bit. So you got to do a lot of setup to be like, well, it's the MCU, but like don't treat it like it's not its own thing, because it is. And like I definitely think it worked for shows like Loki and WandaVision, and like even like Miss Marvel, I think like did a really good job of like, setting it up. But like, yeah, this is the thing that routinely happens. Is like they kind of go dialogue crazy sometimes and like lore crazy and setup crazy, and things take longer than they need to. But overall, I thought episode 1 was dope. Super different feeling. Like you guys said, it was more of a mature feeling than like what we usually see in MCU stuff. Less comedy, more like serious stuff. So episode 2 starts off. Episode 2, current front runner of the season. Episode 2 starts off where episode 1 ended, with the bombing. Homie gets arrested. I'm an American.
Wait, hold
Fury
on.
gets kidnapped again.
Before that, I thought it was very cool when they started it off with like basically a recap of the Skrull stuff from Captain Marvel. And then they wait, am I remembering this right? Never mind, no.
No, you're right. I did forget the flashback.
I'm thinking of like a specific thing, but that's literally coming after what you're about to mention.
Okay, so so I did skip the flashback. They start with a flashback. It's 2 years after the events of Captain Marvel. Fury is talking to this Skrull lady. I forgot her name, but she introduces him to Gravik, little baby Gravik. Fury and Talos sort of give like an address to these refugees. And Fury says, if you help protect my planet, I'll try to find you a new home, basically. And he's like, a sentence that he says that I think they're going to like harp on. He's like, you keep your world, I'll keep mine, or something like that. And I feel like that's going to be like the driving force of like the conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Fury, he promised them, he's like, I'm gonna find you guys a new home, blah, blah, blah. Then he just dipped out on him.
Bye.
He's like, hey, you remember what I said about keeping my word? Yeah, nah. But yeah, so then Fury gets kidnapped again. But it was actually by Talos. And in the commotion of the bombings and everything that's going on, people getting arrested and stuff, Talos disguised himself and threw Fury in the back of one of the trucks so that they could get out of there without any problem. Ryan, what were you gonna say?
I like how they started off with a flashback. They set the even though it's like that's something you should probably start the season with, but whatever. Okay, they start the episode with it. Pretty cool. I like how they jump to that flashback 1997 and they do that whole scene. I thought it was great how you see the shot of Gravik, who, by the way, I'm going to do a tangent on this one. I got confused when we were watching it
His
because,
name.
yes, they mentioned the name Gravik. And then I'm like, oh shit. This is 2 years after 1995. That's when Captain Marvel just happened. We just saw that flashback. It's 2 years later. Damn. How fast do these fucking Skrulls grow up? Because the daughter she's tall as hell. That's crazy. But no, it's because I got confused. I forgot her name was Gaia. I'm like, oh, Gravik?
I do think God, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna find what this fucking woman's name is. I think it was like Vera or Vara.
Are you talking about the wife?
No, well, yeah, I'm assuming she's the wife that we like her Skrull name.
Soren?
She has a different name. No. The lady that introduced.
Oh,
Gravik. No. Whatever the fuck her name is, I can't remember. He was Fury was like, he even said he's like, but he's a kid, and she was like, she's something like in a human's eyes or something like that. So I think that was insinuating that like they sort of like age differently.
Yeah,
maybe.
So that was pretty funny. I just got confused with the names. I'm like, damn, that daughter's fucking huge now in 2 years. That's crazy. But I like how during that scene they just like show Gravik, and then it just instantly cuts to present day, and then shows human form him after doing the bombing. I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool.
He's like, yeah, we did that shit. Yeah.
Literally explained his villain origin story in like a second. I don't even need to like be told directly. I already know. He's fucking upset that Nick Fury hasn't found him a home yet. That's why he's doing this shit. Good stuff.
Very, very, very effective jump cut.
Yeah.
Also, and then something that because I watched episode 2 with Mama Bo. Shout out Mama Bo. She pointed out something that like I wasn't even like putting too much like harp on, but I think it is a good reveal about his motivations. Gravik is the only person that doesn't like form up, and like obviously it's like, you know, because he's a kid and maybe he just like doesn't have a form yet, but like everyone else in the room was like, oh no, we got it, we're gonna form up human form. And he's like, so it's like he never like actually agreed to what Fury was saying. He kind of was just like, I'm gonna see how this goes.
4D chess.
And that's their way of sorry.
No, go ahead.
Of like agreeing to something, right? They change to the form, but in the future they just change it back to the Skrulls, right? Like when they were on that meeting and agreed.
Yeah, because he was like, if you're down to help, like, you know, step forward. And as they stepped forward, they were transforming into human forms, and he's the only one that didn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, little shit. Fury and Talos are on a train to Warsaw. Talos has to disguise himself as a blonde Russian lady to hide from the cops. As they show the picture of Fury, and she says, you're looking for a Black American man on a train from Moscow to Warsaw. You are more likely to run into aliens. And now any other time, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. But literally half of the universe was turned into dust by a big purple alien who came down to Earth and with his whole alien army and nearly killed everybody. Like aliens are just like a common occurrence now.
Yeah,
true.
I just thought that that line was weird. But then like we mentioned a little bit ago, Fury and Talos start playing, you know, the little game about, you know, tell me something that I don't know. Fury goes into his childhood a little bit, talking about like him and his mom growing up in Alabama, and they'd have to ride in segregated cars. and they would play, you know, different games on the train, and they were playing the game that they're playing right now. He said he mentioned Old Man Jackson's barn. I thought that was funny. And then this is where Talos tells him that there are actually 1,000,000 Skrulls on Earth.
Which
what did you guys
insane.
think about this reveal?
Lucia, go ahead. Get that off your chest, big man.
I mean, all the scrolls are like buddy ones, or are they the evil ones?
I think it could be a mix of both. I think that's the danger.
I think it's a mix of both.
I mean, I think.
Hey yo, Nick Fury. By the way, we dropped in 1,000,000 terrorists. Good luck. Imagine.
And how many
Something
years
you didn't
since
know,
they
by the way.
first got there? How many years has it been since like they first got there?
1995. This is taking place probably like 2024, 2025, something like that.
Yeah.
20 years?
30.
Oh.
30. How old are you? 30. Which is depressing, by the way. 30 years. Oh my God.
So I think the million is more of a like a recent thing. I think the million dropped in either when Fury got dusted, or probably since Fury got dusted. That's probably when they dropped in the million. Because I can imagine like population counting was just a goddamn mess during that whole period of time. So they probably honestly just dropped in, and like some of the people that got dusted like took their lives over, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So they go ahead.
When I watched it, I was a bit confused at the reveal, as we talked about earlier with the whole logistics and stuff. It's also a thing where I know he just got back from space, but you know, they just went through a terrorist attack. Maria Hill is now dead. And the only way that Nick Fury got this very important information, it's very fucking crucial, this piece of information he got. The only way he got it is because Nick Fury had to actively go about getting it from him.
They're playing the train game.
Nick Fury plays it better than everybody. But how is that not a thing where Talos is like, Nick or Fury, I got to tell you something. And then he tells him that. He's like, this problem is much bigger than you might think. Or something like that. I just think he's giving me, you know what? He's sus. Talos is sus. He's hiding something even more so than what he revealed here. Because how is it not information you give him? If you're in a war, if you're really on Nick Fury's side, how is that not? I don't get it.
Like,
thoughts?
I know y'all haven't had like a ton of downtime, but that feels like something that you should probably get like off the rip when he shows up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, so like real quick. There's 1,000,000 more Skrulls on the planet.
Yeah. So that was my feelings on it. It's like, it's just, it's a presentation of it. Like, I like the idea that we're now having to deal with about 1,000,000 Skrulls who may or may not be on the side of Gravik that we got to deal with.
Right.
I like that a lot. It's just they presented it in a weird way where all I'm thinking about is like, how the fuck am I just learning about this now? How the fuck are you barely talking about it? So it just like in my head, it just like downplays it for me because the show's not taking, or I guess the characters, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but they're not taking this information as seriously as it should be. So subconsciously, I think I'm not either until I actually see it happen.
Right. Yeah. They're the way that they're dumping out info in this series kind of, and like unexpected or expectedly and understandably kind of all over the place, but also like this, y'all are giving me a lot that I need to follow, and you're being very inconsistent with it.
Yeah. Lucia, what are your thoughts on inconsistency as a concept?
I had, as you were talking about all that, I have another theory,
Oh my.
Oh shit!
which might make it make sense because he's like,
Ooh.
why didn't you tell me this? He had communication with him, but he didn't tell him. Besides it being his family, technically, his species, and doesn't want to go to another home. What if Talos is a
He's a
Skrull?
Skrull.
I mean, a Skrull pretending to be Talos. Is it Talos? Pretending to be Talos. And that's why he didn't tell him, because he's part of the evil organization. Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. What's the theory exactly? That the real Talos is evil,
another
or doesn't?
Skrull pretending to be that Skrull. Can one Skrull pretend to be another Skrull, or just another human?
I don't know, but
I
I'm intrigued by the idea.
I don't know if we have that information. Because I know that they kind of just said that they can shapeshift, but like they don't specify if they can shapeshift into other scrolls or not.
However, comma, we did get that one thing in Captain Marvel. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but you know when they're asking either Talos or Talos' sidekick, he's like, "Oh, can you like turn into a plant or something?" And he's like, "If I see it, yeah, I could do that."
Oh shit!
Ooh.
So it could, they could
Eyes
anything.
everywhere.
They could just turn into anything as long as they see it. So theoretically and hypothetically,
Oh, there it is. Yep.
it could be. Lucia should be writing the show. This would be the
Confuse
fucking
everybody.
greatest Marvel show ever. The villain is super smart. The sus good guy is like a bad guy the entire time. Like it'd be crazy. This is what the show should be, by the way.
So our boy Rhodey, is in front of fucking the UN basically, and they're like, "Yo, why is your boy?" They're like, first of all, we thought the president was coming. And he's like, "Well, he's not." And then they're like, "Why is your boy Nick Fury like in Russia, fucking bombing people?" And he's like, "Well, Nick Fury was allegedly in Russia."
False accusations.
And then he, I think my favorite line of this entire scene was, if Czechoslovakia or not, or what was it? No, it was what country was it?
Slovakia, maybe?
Something with the S.
Slovakia. That's what Slovakia is. If Slovakia keeps rolling their eyes at me, I'll put on the suit. I'm gonna carpet bomb them.
I thought it was very funny that he's basically at this meeting, and then it's like, you know, all these representatives from all these different nations are here, and then Rhodey's just like, "Oh yeah, you know the president, he's fucking super busy, dude. You know, he's actually doing real shit in a real country, so he can't be here." By the way,
he's like, he's too busy running the most powerful nation in the world, so I came here instead.
Yeah.
I'm not a loser like you
Hilarious.
guys.
He doesn't do some kid shit like this. He sends me to do that. This is kids play.
He said, "We do men shit in America."
And if he was there, a Skrull would probably impersonate him. That's why he didn't show up.
Shit.
My theory is that Rhodey is a Skrull. I just want to put that out there.
True.
No.
Even though,
It was
again,
so rude.
it's the duality of man. I have two feelings on it. One, I hope Rhodey is himself and not a Skrull, because that makes the whole argument with Nick Fury and the racial thing actually like matter and like be true, and isn't just some like, you know, deception by a Skrull. But also, it'd be so fucking crazy if Rhodey was a Skrull, because he's been here since the beginning. So we'd be asking the same thing with Everett Ross. However, I don't think Rhodey has ever been like near death in these movies to the point where it's like, oh, you would have to show us either in that scene he's a Skrull or not.
Well, Civil War for sure. When he got blasted out of the sky because his blood was red. When Tony had to take his mask off because he had just got Vision blasted his little arc reactor in his suit when they were having the airport fight.
Wait, so the Skrull's blood can't be red when they're impersonating?
No, so when their blood is always blue. Their blood is always going to be not blue, purple.
Okay. Damn. Why? Damn.
Well, it's not saying that Rhodey's not a Skrull
in
but
the
it's
show.
Definitely saying
it's
that
putting
at
a
least
limit on
like
it.
yeah. At least Civil War, Rhodey was Rhodey.
Man. I thought this show was gonna be like, it'd be like we watch it, and while we're watching it, we're like thinking back about everything we've seen in the past. It'd be like, oh my god, this person could be a Skrull. How about them? Blah, 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 blah. But like now,
I don't know if they got that dog in them. I'm
it.
gonna be real with you. I don't think they got that dog in them.
I wish they did, though. It sucks. That's what the show should be: constant doubt of who to trust as the audience.
But yeah, so Rhodey, essentially tells all the other countries to piss off.
Fuck off.
Some of those people are later revealed to be Skrulls, and some of those people have something that I saw pointed out. Like, I don't trust anybody that I'm seeing wearing green in the rest of this episode, or the rest of this show, because a lot of people up until this point that have been revealed to have been a Skrull, or like some of them at least, just can't help it, and they can't help themselves, and they gotta have some green swag on somewhere. And there were a handful of people in this meeting that have green accessories or attire on. So those are like all people to look out for. As Rhodey's leaving, he gets a call from Nick Fury. He's like, where the fuck is this dude at? How does he see me? I like the line about that suit looks expensive. He's like, well, the other one is made of titanium. So this is the cheap one. They have that really good scene. I think it was probably my favorite scene in the series so far, where they have that talk like just between the two of them. And they're talking about, he's like, why the fuck are you causing problems and shit? And he's like, well, I'm not. I'm trying to stop this shit. Rhodey's apparently known about Skrulls for at least like the past 15 years. Rhodey is basically telling Fury to stand down. He fires him and is ready to hand him over to the Russians to calm shit down. Fury is like, fuck that, and drops like a super sick line. He's like, I'm Nick Fury, even when I'm out, I'm in.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
That was some
even when
baller
I'm
shit.
I'm in.
What did you guys think about the scene between Fury? I almost called him Nick, but I'm not his mom. About Fury and Rhodey in this little cafe.
Let's see, you go first.
Brutal. Help a brother out. I don't know. I thought maybe he was gonna help him, but yeah, it was cool. Like, he's like, I'm the boss. I don't know, like, I forget the exact words, but like, we didn't get this far to, like, for me not to.
Oh, there were a ton of bars in here. Basically, yeah, I know what you're talking about, where he's like, we didn't work all this way to get here to just give power to other mediocre men just because they look like us. Dog. Okay, let me go off.
Damn.
I love this scene. And then before the scene even happened, when they're talking on the phone, like, I'm getting excited. I'm like, I don't think we've ever seen these two characters on the screen at the same time before. So I knew we were in for some fucking probably magical. And it was fucking magical. These shows, I'll be honest, overall, not very good for the most part. However, one thing that I am liking that they're doing is how they address racism, because it's very subtle. Falcon and Winter Soldier, you know, when Sam Wilson gets stopped by the police just because, you know, he's having an argument, and then Bucky is like unaware of what the fuck's happening and stuff. It's very subtle and nuanced. And then, you know, of course, on top of the whole black man becoming Captain America, but that's like more obvious. But they do this subtle stuff, and it's actually great how they handle it.
I think I was super biased about my love for Falcon and Winter Soldier, partially because of how they handle like race and like interaction between different races and stuff like that. And then like that scene on the back end, like where he is Captain America now, and like he gives that speech like in front of the press and in front of the cops. Like that is genuinely one of my favorite scenes that like Marvel has ever put together. And like it's so crazy and so powerful. So like I was freaking out like a lot during, you know, like it wasn't that long scene, but like the from a character standpoint, from a good people both having to deal with racial struggle standpoint, from two guys that like have been, you know, in military and espionage and government standpoint, they were like verbally sparring back and forth this entire conversation. And then like Rhodey dropped that super hard bar, you know, we didn't work so hard getting power away from mediocre men who don't look like us just to give it back to mediocre men who do look like us.
Oh my
that's
God. Fucking brutal.
That's some crazy shit. First of all, he just called you mediocre. Which like that's like the hardest bar more than anything, is being called mediocre to your face. But nah, that was super crazy. Yes, and then Fury drops his line, even when I'm out, I'm in.
Yeah.
And he walks out. I'm Nick.
I like, if Rhodey is a Skrull, even though I think it's better if it's the real Rhodey making that argument, it's also it adds a layer, because, you know, it's essentially humans versus Skrulls in the show. If it's a Skrull, a minority in this case, in this context, impersonating another minority, making the argument to Nick Fury. Which, so like either way, it's either a Skrull or not. Either way, it's kind of fucking crazy and cool that happened just on itself. Yeah. So I think that's really cool.
Because either way, he understands like racial, special struggle. Yeah. And like, because even if it's not Rhodey, he's still impersonating a black guy. Mm-hmm. So like, he would still understand like the struggle that he's dealing with. So either way, that scene works. Either way, the scene works.
Good stuff. I also like how, you know, if you think about it, I think part of the reason this scene works so well is because if you look at it, Nick Fury is in the wrong. He is going against the rules, and Rhodey is in the right for doing what he should fire him for what the fuck he's doing. He's not supposed to be on Earth. He's around this situation. It's causing all this turmoil between Russia and the United States. Nick Fury should step down.
And it's not like this is like going against like Rhodey's character either, because Rhodey has routinely been I'm on the side of my country / my government / my organization. That is routinely his role.
I was about to say the same thing. Exactly. It's in character, and then it's just so magical because then Nick Fury literally just resorts to, I'm also black, help me. And then Rhodey is like, no, it's more important than this shit.
He's like, dog, like, yeah, but it's bigger than that.
Yeah. Great stuff. Great. Best thing of the show so far, by the way.
And honestly, like, if you think about it, it's even crazy because Fury has always been a guy on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So them having this argument is like, damn. It's such a good scene, man.
Yeah, this show is the best. You know what I mean?
fuck all that bad stuff we said. This show rule.
Yeah.
After this is the scene where is after this the fucking torture scene?
I think it is. Yeah, I think this is like halfway through the episode.
So homegirl walks in. You said her name earlier. I already forgot.
Sonia,
British lady?
Yeah, the British lady, Sonia.
Oh.
Maybe I think there may be two like British ladies. Possibly.
Shout out to the British ladies. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up. We could just cut this out.
Yeah.
Cast. Who is the British lady? Sonia. It is Sonia.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking. Sonia.
Okay.
Sonia Fallsworth.
Fallsworth. That's a last name.
So Sonia walks into this butcher shop. The dude at the counter is like, "Who are you?" And she says, "I'm above your pay grade. Where is he?" Which is fucking A-tier response.
I love it.
She goes and find homie who got arrested. That was screaming up being an American. He's like tied up in a chair. I don't know if they've already been torturing him, but like he looks pretty fine. So like, you know, they haven't been doing too good of a job. MCU has been getting like super violent lately. And this scene was like this was like the most uncomfortable I've been watching anything, like just because like they don't prepare you for it at all. Like she just walks in, and like we've seen the situation where like someone's been like, "Oh, I'm gonna torture you," and they like have some weird mind thingy that like you can't really relate to. No, she fucking walks in and cuts this dude's fucking finger off.
Yeah, that shit was gross. I
was like, "Oh
as
shit!"
Gross as, have you seen John Wick 4?
No, I need to though. I really need to.
Well, there's this one thing where a dude gets stabbed right in the middle of the hand, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, you gotta pledge your loyalty. You gotta pull that shit out."
Oh.
So you just fucking
Oh my God.
go against the knife. Oh my God, that shit was crazy.
Oh my God.
And this was as gross as that. It was like, oh, cut. There you go. Got your finger. Oh my.
Got your finger. But she did that to test to see if he was a Skrull. Because you know, then it reverts back to the green and the purple. She's like, "All right, cool. So yeah, you're who I'm looking for." And she starts asking him. She's like, "What do you know?" He's like, "I don't know anything." She's like, "Obviously, that's a fucking lie." Fucking Sonia is petty as fuck, and I love it. She's got this this like bio material, whatever bullshit. It like makes your blood kind of boil, I guess is what it does.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Go ahead, stick it in my arm." And then just to be a piece of shit, she sticks it in his butt. You know, she's torturing this guy. She gets the info. She gets the name of the scientists that are working on this mysterious machine that we don't know about yet. She while this is happening, Gravik shows up and just starts fucking murking on all these guys to get their boy back. She gets whatever info she thinks she's gonna get out of him, and she leaves for the escape hatch. Gravik, after having murked all these dudes, gets their boy. He's like, "What'd you tell them?" He's like, "I ain't tell them nothing. I just told them lies." And obviously, Gravik does not believe this at all.
Nope.
They take homie into the car. They sort of just like take him like out to like a spot in the woods, it seems like, and they blast him. Gravik is just like basically asleep during this entire time too. This dude does not give a single shit. Brother's basically napping on this car ride. Like he's awake, but he is chilling. He is full on chilling. And then the episode ends with Nick Fury walking into this very nice home. We see this Skrull lady cutting up looks like some cucumbers. And then she morphs, and it turns out that this is Nick Fury's wife that he mentioned in, was it Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
This is Nick Fury's wife, Priscilla. And yeah, that's how the episode ends, with Nick Fury and Priscilla with fucking I forgot the name of the song. There's a good like song from the 60s playing in the background. That's the end of the episode. Do you guys think that Nick Fury knows his wife is a Skrull?
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even consider it.
Because she morphs before he walks into the room.
Oh my. Whoa. He's sleeping with an alien and he might not know it? Oh my.
After not helping them for years, now he has a reason.
Oh shit.
She found her home. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that, so I can't even tell you my thoughts. That'd be crazy.
I thought it like only because I noticed that like she heard the door open and then she shifted and then she like had him go back and put the ring on.
It'd be interesting. But also I don't know how invested I would be in that. Like if he found out that she was a Skrull, because we don't even know the original wife, you know? Like it means something to him, but like the reveal I feel would be like, okay, your wife was a Skrull.
What if, hear me out. What if he just thinks that this has been like, what if she's always been a Skrull, but she's always been in disguise?
That's what I was thinking. You meant like he doesn't know she's a Skrull at all.
Yeah. So like this is just legit his wife, but like, and it's been his wife this entire time, but he doesn't know that she's a Skrull.
I think it'd be cool if, you know, the wife is siding with Gravik. I think for me, that'd be the only reason it would be worthwhile to bring up as a plot point. Because if it's just
can't trust nobody.
Yeah, you can't trust anybody, including your wife. That'd be interesting. It can't just be like, oh, you know, that's a mystery. That's a mystery of the Skrulls, baby. You married a Skrull, you didn't even know it, but I still love you. I'd be like, okay, it's your wife. It's your wife. Lucy, how do you feel about it?
I think if she was a Skrull, like either it wouldn't, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me if he knows she is or knew, like let's just say he fell in love with the Skrull, because then wouldn't he want to be helping them more than he is? He like kind of left Earth, unless the reason he's been gone is because that's what he was doing, right? Looking for someplace for them. I don't know.
What do you think, Bo?
That is,
you bring
that
it up.
is,
what do you think?
That's I wanna like shift slightly because that's a fantastic point. Everyone, literally everyone, this entire time has been shitting on Nick Fury for being gone this whole time, and they still haven't really given like a concrete like thing. Like some people, like Maria Hill was insinuating this, like, oh, you're scared of like shit that was going on down here, so you ran away and went and hit up space. He could have been fucking trying to find the Skrulls a home. If that's not what he was doing, what has he been doing this entire time, and why hasn't he been trying to help them more? There's like a lot of like unanswered questions still. And like I think the biggest one is why was he up in that fucking space station? And like, it could be revealed like, okay, well, he was trying to find the Skrulls at home. It's like, all right, cool. Well, then you probably should have been communicating that. Or maybe he was just running away from stuff. And like, I feel like that's I feel like if they play it right and they add layers to it, that could be a good like reveal. But like, I think that's the driving force of the series. So we're probably not going to get an answer until like episode 4 or like episode 5. We get the reveal before they get to the finale. Why he was in space for so long and not helping the Skrulls. But nah, I think it's definitely something we should keep an eye on because Fury's motivations are not clear.
Yeah.
None of his motivations are clear.
Is he a Skrull?
Because either is he a oh my god.
Is he a Skrull?
Fury's been a Skrull this whole time. But now so that was episode 2. Oh shit, hold on real quick. So they mentioned like the super weapon that they're building. Or not super weapon, this machine. And he says it's supposed to make them stronger. In the comics, they make this machine that turns them into what they call super Skrulls. And super Skrulls can also copy people's abilities. So like there was a bunch of them that were being like the Fantastic Four. I don't know what exactly she was looking for, but Gaia was like in the computers looking for some shit in episode 2, and they have a list of.
I noticed like, extremists.
Yeah, they have a list of the species. I have the whole list. So it's extremists, which were those fucking fire people from Iron Man 3, with the super auto regenerative healing. They have Groot at the top of the list. That made me laugh. They have the Frost Beast. They were in Thor: The Dark World. They showed up on Earth during that fight where like the universes were collapsing or whatever. And Cull Obsidian, his fucking hand. He's the dude in Infinity War whose hand got chopped off, and they literally have the picture of his fucking hand in the gimmick.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I think those are like some species that they are that they currently have DNA from, that they're studying and developing for this machine to turn themselves into these super Skrulls with the abilities and such.
That'd be pretty cool. You think they're gonna? Is that gonna like play into the finale? You think?
I don't know. I don't know if they actually finish the machine or not. I think it'd be a lot cooler if they do. It depends on like how crazy they're trying to go with the Skrull shit. Like, is this something that's getting handled this season or this series, or is this something that's being set up this series? You know, because like. If it's something that's being set up, then, this machine is definitely getting finished. They're about to get all kinds of crazy fucking superpowers and shit. You're not about to be able to trust literally anybody, because even the fucking Avengers and all these heroes could be Skrulls. But if it's something that they're solving, then I feel like it's much more interesting if it's like a setup type thing, and like going forward, like you can't trust like even like superpowered beings.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention it, but when we first see Nick Fury's wife, I thought it was a mom.
You thought it was his mom?
Because
you
I was talking about it earlier.
Nick,
I'm like,
you're
damn,
home.
she's looking young. That's crazy. I think he started kissing her. I said, whoa.
Train. There's some next level train games.
Yeah, yeah, you damn right.
But that was episode 2. What are you guys' overall thoughts on episode 2?
I like it because more things happen and we found out more things. I liked it better than the first one, or like it was more attention grabbing. It was cool.
Yeah, a lot more interesting stuff happened. There was still a lot of talking, but sometimes the talking is fucking incredible. It's I liked episode 2 a lot. The ending, like I've already said, based on what they're doing with it, like gauges how much I care about it. But like while I was watching it, I'm just like, okay, the wife is a Skrull. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of the Maria Hill thing was definitely more fucking, oh my goodness, that's crazy. More of a shock ending to me. But the rest of the episode saw the torture stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm into this. This is crazy. And the Sonya woman is like ruthless. And then
I said I was uncomfortable, but also like it's like watching a car crash. Like I was uncomfortable because obviously she just fucking ripped this dude's finger off, but also I was like, yo, like she just ripped this dude's finger off. What's about to happen next?
Yeah, right, yeah. And then and like you mentioned, the Gravik dude just like, a safe house just got infiltrated. He's like, yeah, keep driving. I'm gonna take a nap. He's like, I'm not even gonna have to say nothing. Fucking shoot this dude, and then just leave him for dead.
He's like, yeah, y'all let me know when you're done. Let me know when we're back home. I'm gonna take me a little nappy.
Yeah. Although, like, I doubt, because they don't usually go this in depth with the villains. But I'm curious to see at what point and why he is so ruthless and bloodthirsty. Because he simply just does not care about shit. And I wonder where that came from.
Right.
Was he like, did he join and always, was he like this ever since he was a child? And then that's why he wanted to join, Fury? Because he's like, oh, a war. I want to be in it. I want to fucking kill people. Or was it like, ever since then, it's been brewing? That's what I'm curious about. But, they're probably going to touch on it. We're probably going to get a flashback in episode 4 or whatever. And it's like,
I was about to say another flashback.
Yeah. Hey, fucking these 5 years, Nick Fury, while you've been away, this is what I had to go through. They're probably going to do that. And then that's like it for his backstory. I'd be interested, to get in there to see how his brain is wired and why that is.
Why this dude be just taking naps while they take a dude out to go execute him in the woods?
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Agree with both y'all overall. Episode 2 definitely had not even necessarily like it had more action, but I wouldn't even like action isn't even the word I would use. I feel like just more stuff happened. Like even during the talking points, I feel like the conversation was more intriguing and important, and like
it was like they had active ramifications of what they're talking about.
Yeah, and like, oh my god, like this big scene that we skipped with with all the world leaders being Skrulls, President's a Skrull, the fucking all those people are Skrulls, and then they elect Gravik as their the news anchor. They elect Gravik as their guy. They elect Gravik as the leader of like their little organization. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna fall in line. We're gonna follow him. We're in war. This is a war. There's a war. Delivery. But no, that was a crazy scene too.
Oh yeah, that was like, fucking weird delivery.
Yeah,
he's banging on the table. There's a wall. Okay, all right, kid. Why are you freaking out like that?
Like on one hand, I was like, what the hell? But on the other hand, I was like, all right, I'm with it. I get it. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Wall. But now, yeah. So yeah, I definitely think like more stuff happened. They didn't spend as much time trying to set up the lore. They were just actually progressing the story.
Yeah.
And I think it's this episode did a better job setting up the fact that you can't trust anybody, because genuinely every character in the show seems like that they have some sort of ulterior motive than what their base motivations are.
Yeah.
Because even Talos, like, seems like Talos is probably the person that you can trust the most. But even then, like, you can't because, like, he's a Skrull, and so, like, this is always going to be a weird conflict for him. But he seems like the most But even then, he lied to Fury about all the other Skrulls being here, so you can't really trust him either. So I was gonna say he seems like the most transparent out of everybody, but even then, like, that's not necessarily true. We have no idea what Fury's like. He's got some stuff that he's still hiding. His motivations are all over the place. So I think this episode did a good job of setting up that factor of, like, you can't trust anybody. You really can't trust what you see on screen. Everything is a deception. Art is a lie. Nothing is real.
Period.
But no, I think it was more interesting. There was less fucking like plot dumping and more like actual plot progression. Yeah, the scene with Fury and Rhodey, one fucking top tier shit.
Yeah, a highlight for sure. I hope we get more of them talking. I hope this isn't like a Falcon Winter Soldier thing where, like, after this, Rhodey just like disappears. I hope he's like an actual cast member in this.
He just fucks off. I feel like he should be, but I also felt like he kind of was going to be in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah. And he kind of just fucked off. But I feel like the way that they have him set up in this, because of the scene where he was arguing with like the UN, and then the scene with Fury, I feel like they actually have him set up to be, like he might be like sort of pursuing Fury, and then he's gonna at the last second decide to help him because ultimately he is a good guy. Because he just fired him, and then Fury told him to fuck off. So like he can't let that go.
Yeah.
But hopefully we get our boy Don Cheadle back.
Hopefully.
What do you guys? How do you guys think the next like, not even necessarily like the rest of the season, but like just like the next like few immediate episodes are going to play out?
Lucia, you're basically writing a great show as you are with these theories. Lay it on us.
Right now I feel like Gravik is like sus of Jaya. Like the way he looked at her in the car after the guy was killed in the woods is like, yeah, that's gonna happen to you if you keep this bullshit up.
Damn,
she's done nothing. I got
like,
my eye on you.
Which, by the way, that guy that got killed, he didn't even see it coming. He was like, "Oh, we almost home." All right.
Oh, almost home. I forgot he said we're almost home. Yeah, buddy, we're almost home.
We're almost home, bro.
But I'm like, damn, he doesn't know. And the guy calling him brother. Let me just kill my brother real quick.
And they old yellered him.
Oof.
And then, yeah, because then he's just like looking at her, so he's like, he's probably gonna test her somehow. I don't know if next episode, but
I want you to kill your dad.
Maybe she has to choose. Yeah,
I was just about to say that.
The dad or him, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, similar feeling. I think either next episode or the one after, it's gonna be hey, you're taking a car ride with me. You're driving, by the way. Or it's just gonna be the two of us.
I can't drive.
We're gonna go someplace. It's either you're gonna have
to make me a nappy.
A little nap, little TP time. What? So it's either they go somewhere and he points at a fucking house, points at a window, and is like, "Hey, your dad is in there with Nick Fury. Go knock on the door and fucking slit his throat." It's either gonna be something like that, or it's gonna be like, "Oh, hey, there's this gathering over here downtown. Oh, here's a backpack. Go blow that shit up."
And while you're doing that, I'm gonna take me a siesta.
Yeah, I think that this dude does not care.
This is literally just taking a car nap while they're murdering somebody.
He's kind of interesting. He's like both kind of like bland because he just like does shit, but also I'm interested. I feel like.
But also, he had just walked into that butcher shop and fucking killed all those dudes like he was John Wick.
Yeah, I'm interested. I feel like a high school girl, and then the bad boy. I'm like, I'm interested. I want to get into this. I want to see what this guy's about.
This dude is a problem.
I could fix him. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's probably what it's going to be. He's gonna test
He's
her.
like, hey, you're snooping on my computer. Oh, it's all right. Let's go take a ride real quick.
And then depending on whether Nicholas knows if his wife is a Skrull or not, I think, next episode might be, the white, it'll be them versus the world. It'll be, hey, listen to me, Nick. And then, she says Nick, so we know it's fucking real. And then she's actually his mom. And then she's like, I'm sitting here. You fucking, you fucking put up with the Avengers. You made them, and then they started fighting. You did that shit, and then fucking you disappeared for 5 years. You came back. Now you gotta do the space shit, and then the Skrulls and stuff. I've been on your side this entire time. It's me and you, baby. You could trust me. And then she's like,
baby.
I'm against you though. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe she's not even on Gravik's side. Maybe he starts explaining what's been going down because they live in a nice area. What if she's just one of the Skrulls that is like living the good life? So she's not aware of exactly what's going on in the past 5 years, just like Nick. So maybe Nick starts, I don't know why I'm calling him Nick. I'm not his mom. So when Fury starts explaining
Maria?
Gravik and like what's going on, because, Fury just learned about all this shit recently. Maybe the wife is like sympathetic towards Gravik and starts siding with him by I'm forgetting the word, but like by distance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Do you think the wife was in space with him, or do you think he just left her too?
I think he just left her too. And then I think maybe that's why either, he was up in space, part of what he's doing is finding the home, or, she's just aware of what he was actually doing. And she just didn't have a problem with him being gone so long because she knows it's very important.
Right. She's like, yeah, he's a government agent, and he's got a dude he's got to do, so he's probably just doing some important stuff.
Yeah. What do you think is gonna pan out over the next couple episodes?
I hope Fury's fucking motivations get revealed like better, like his alliances. I hope we find out why the fuck he was in space for so long, because that's what we've been trying to figure out for the fucking past fucking 3-4 years. And we still don't have an answer. So I'm really ready for them to go ahead and give that to us. I want to see where I think we're going to see more of Gaia not trusting Gravik, and Gravik revealing ultimately that he knew Gaia was trying to work with her dad this entire time. Or that he knew that she was going to go back to her dad. Say what?
You think I didn't see that shit? It's your dad, dumbass.
It's your dad, dumbass. But nah, yeah, I think we're gonna we're definitely getting another flashback with Gravik. I think, like you said, hopefully we reveal like why he is so fucking brutal, because like this is like some trained brutality. Or like developed brutality. This isn't just like, oh, well, Nick Fury made me a promise when I was a little kid, and now I'm a super soldier ninja badass because he didn't keep his promise. Like,
yeah,
something happened. And now I'm a terrorist leader, ninja badass because Nick Fury lied to me when I was a kid.
All right, I have a question. So since you're familiar with the comics, what could Nick Fury possibly be doing in space? Because, spoiler alert, you've seen the Marvels trailer, right?
Yes.
Okay, so after this show, he does go back to space. So, spoiler, Nick Fury's not dying. Unless that Nick Fury's a Skrull. I'm just saying, he may be a Skrull.
Whoa!
But, so he's going to go back to the mission. What do you think could be the mission? Do you have any idea? Any thoughts, predictions?
Man, I don't know because I know fucking I know like fucking MCU likes to like switch stuff up, and our Nick Fury's motivations have just been so crazy. I honestly think that he was just setting up Saber because like, you know, he as more and more shit keeps happening, he's like trying to find more ways to just like be prepared. Sort of like think of it
Like Ultron?
Yeah. I was like, think of it very like, I think he's at the point where he needs to like find that I keep using this phrase, but it just works so well. He's got to refine that dog in him.
Yeah.
Got to refine that dog in him. Because like this Nick Fury is like the most vulnerable Nick Fury that we have seen in all of the MCU so far. And like we've seen him where he's like not really sure what to do, but he's always like, we'll probably figure it out, or like he's always at least like kind of prepared. This dude doesn't know who to trust, doesn't know where to go, doesn't know what the fuck to do, doesn't have anybody on his side. The entire world, or not the entire, well, yeah, basically the entire fucking all the world leaders think that he's a terrorist now. So I'm not really sure where they're doing this or why this motherfucker is in space. Tell me why he was in space. Give me what I want.
Yeah, true. It's very
Give me what I want. Hell yeah.
Do you think that Nick Fury could be a Skrull?
Yes.
Ooh. Like the all right. So do you mean like
All right,
see if he was if he was, then I would wonder again where the real Nick Fury is and when did this dude take his spot?
All right, let me set the table for it. Because we have a couple things that have been established. What if... I forgot how I was going to intro it. But, all right, let me just say what's on the mind. All right, so in Spider-Man, he had Talos and Talos' wife impersonate he and Maria Hill while he's up in space. So it's not out of the question. It is possible that he could tell another Skrull while he's up there, hey, go down there, act like me. It could also explain why he got kidnapped in the first episode. That could be like, oh no, like he legit got kidnapped. Because they've already established, at least with Talos, right when in Spider-Man, when they reveal themselves as Skrulls, I think, or when was the reveal? I think when they were talking to Nick Fury on FaceTime or whatever, when, Talos is like, oh yeah, we came down here, we were doing what you told us to do, and then things just kind of spiraled, and then like you weren't answering, so we just had to do stuff on the fly. What if that's just happening again, What if this Nick Fury, and that's why, when he's talking to Rhodey, he's like, last resort. Hey, we're both black. Help me out. It can work if Nick Fury is a Skrull too.
Imagine, I was about to say, imagine if fucking Rhodey and Fury are both Skrull. Goddamn super deep fake.
Oh my. But like,
that's crazy.
I just think like it would be insane and I'd freak out if at any point during the show this Nick Fury is like, oh yeah, this was a Skrull. I'd freak out, but also I wouldn't be too surprised because they've established that Nick Fury has like done this before. What are your thoughts?
Thoughts? This is some shit that he's on. Um, hmm. I definitely think it's a possibility because the show has established that fucking anything is a possibility, and you can't trust anybody, and you don't know who's a Skrull, who's not a Skrull, and who was secretly switched out for a Skrull. Um, I don't think so, but it's definitely something to keep on the back burner because I could see them fucking getting to the end of the series, being like, "JK, guys, this has been a Skrull this entire time that you've been following the story on."
Yeah.
Nick Fury told him to tell Talos the story about his mom back in Alabama growing up in the train behind Old Man Jackson's barn.
Yeah. I also bring it up because like I'm trying to connect the dots between whatever's gonna happen in this show and when he appears in the the Marvels movie later on, because it's easy because we just, right at the start of the show, Nick Fury just comes down to Earth. But I'm thinking about it, like the timeline, where at the end of WandaVision, that Skrull comes down and recruits Monica to go up to space with Nick Fury. So in the timeline, shouldn't Monica already be up there with Nick? And if so, why isn't she also coming down to help him with this? And also, even if you want to say, oh, Fury just wanted to do it on his own, so he came down here. He didn't think it'd be a big deal, so he just came down by himself. If you want to say that as the excuse or the reasoning, it'd be weird in retrospect after the show to like go back up to space, because we know he does that, and then he's working with Monica to go like, oh yeah, no big deal, just almost not a world-ending threat, but like a societal humanity ending event just happened over the course of the summer or whatever the fuck you're talking about, however long this show timeline is. Oh yeah, but we fixed it, and then now I'm back. Like it'd be weird if the place he's been for the past 5 years, or not 5, 1-2 years, whatever, since he came back from the snap. If the people he's working with and doing this mysterious mission with, it'd be weird if they don't come down and help or know about this extremely huge thing that he's dealing with now. So I just think if he was a Skrull, maybe that's one of the things where it's like, oh yeah, got this dumb Skrull, he just thinks, oh, I could figure it out. Or like Nick Fury, maybe the thing Nick Fury is working on is like not more important, but just so much more
grandiose.
Yeah, to the greater universe than just one planet. So maybe he just is doing it all himself without telling the real Nick Fury. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
You are big brain theorying right now, and I love it.
I'm out here floating chest. Hell yeah. But I think that could be cool, because that could also explain like the issue we have with the lack of motivation on Nick Fury's part. Because it's like he doesn't really have one, except to just be here, and now he's in this situation.
He's sort of just like he's just here, and shit's just happening.
Yeah.
But I'm about to say, I think that's a wrap for the first 2 episodes. Unless you guys have any closing thoughts.
I don't think I'm getting any bigger than those Nick Fury comments. Lucia, what do you got? Anything?
There's like, in this last episode, I got really confused. And for a while, I was like, okay, that Nick Fury in this next scene is probably a Skrull. And then, because he was wearing a beanie half the time, and then that other hat half the time. So I'm like, is that their way of telling us? Because they always do things like on purpose in shows.
I did notice that. I did I didn't want to like point it out yet because I wanted to see if they were going to keep it going, but I did notice that.
Yeah, but then in the we rewatched that last scene before he went to his home, I guess, is where his wife is.
Wife/mother.
He takes off the beanie and then puts on the hat. So I guess he has both, so it's probably the same person. But
they could be throwing that. They could be throwing that in to throw us off the trail.
That's true. So I don't know. Like, I don't think he's always been a Skrull, but at least in this show, a few of the people in the scenes might be like, oh, we thought this was Nick Fury, but it was just a different scene with this person. Because I've seen that done in another show, Pretty Little Liars, where you think it's someone, but it's actually their evil twin. And then you watch certain scenes back and it wasn't actually her, it was her twin, and then they reveal it after, so that could happen. That'd be cool.
Bojack, have you seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I got like the gist of like what it is, but I haven't actually like watched any of it.
Okay, I haven't looked too into it, but I remember like a year ago, whatever, there were rumors that they may bring in some of the characters from that show into this show.
Oh shit.
If so, I'm just saying the whole life model decoy idea could be a thing. I'm just saying. Maria Hill coming back. They have a connection with her. She has a connection with those Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
We will see if Maria Hill comes back. I think she's dead, but I'm not ruling that out either. I'm not ruling it out.
Okay. All right. We'll have to see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those are our thoughts on episodes 1 and 2 of Secret Invasion. So far, it's all right. It's pretty all right. Got some good potential. We're excited to see what's coming next. We'll see you on the next episode of this podcast, which will be coming at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. At some point, yeah. Hope you enjoyed. And, you know, you can't trust anybody. Remember that.
My name is Nick.
My name is Lucia.
Oh, which one's the Skrull? Oh, my.
Is Maria his mom? We don't know.